Hi everyone, it's Jill Lancet again. I feel like I'm oversaturating you with the fitting florets at the moment, but there is a bit of urgency attached to this because by the end of November you may not be able to get some of these items. So I'm really getting straight into this collection. I only got it the other day and I've already made a few cards and I have shown you some of them, but I wanted to show you the versatility of just 3 of the dies, just these 3 dies that come in the set. Now of course there's other dies that will cut out the flowers from the paper, but these are the 3 frames or shapes that I just wanted to show you how versatile they are first of all. So this one here, this is this one, and it cuts out little hearts. So first of all, if you want a card front, you can pop that on there like that. That's what it cuts out. All it cuts out is the hearts. But if you want that to be like a lovely frame, you cut them both out at the same time. And when I say both, I mean this piece here. So what I did was, still got the sticky tape on it, you can see. I just lined them up, put a couple of bits of tape on them and cut them out together. Ran them through the die cutting machine at the same time. And you end up with this beautiful frame. This is a frame of a different kind. And this is a frame with an aperture in it. Now, when you cut that out, you get these 2 pieces here. And you'll see how they fit in there, just like that. So for your 2 pieces, your heart die and this one here, you get your beautiful card front, you get an extra frame, and you get this other oval that you can use later on. So that's just that one, and that one. So that's what you can do with those. Now the next one is this beautiful, quite intricate frame here. Now what it cuts out is this shape here. So you could use that as an aperture on a card front. If you cut that out, you will get that, and you will get this piece here. Now, I'm just going to hold this up for you. I hope you can see. There's a lovely little debossed little frame in its own right on that piece there. So cutting out this one will give you these 3 things here. Now this piece is a bit bigger than the piece that we had left over from the last one. So you can see how you could easily put those 2 together, maybe pop this one up here. I'm sorry if it's a bit confusing because it's white on white. You've now got another possibility to use that. So that's that one there. I'm sticking to everything now because it's all got sticky tape on it. So this one will cut out the shape, then it will cut out the frame, and it will give you another piece to use later on. Now you could put that back in there and raise that up. The possibilities are pretty endless. You could put that back in there and then pop this other little piece on top of that and pop that up. There's quite a few possibilities there. And finally, this piece here, it will give you this oval aperture on a card front. It will give you this beautiful little frame, and it's got lots of texture to it and lots of accents to it. And then of course that little piece that we were speaking about. So if you cut this out in several different colours, You could pop that piece back in there if it was a different colour and give it another accent. You could put this piece back inside there. The possibilities, like there's 8 possibilities just by cutting it just like that. But then you start adding these other bits to it. So I could pop that piece in there. That could be a different colour. This piece here could go back in there, and that's a different colour. The possibilities are endless. And then you've got all these lovely little, I'm sorry if that's a bit glary, but all the little hearts that came out, you can collect those and make a shaker card. So, like, nothing's wasted. Nothing's wasted. I just wanted to show you what these 3 dies were capable of creating. So having said that, I'm going to pop that aside because I've made another card, and I just want to walk you through how I make custom-made cards. I have a customer base where I make cards for them, and I personalise the cards. So I just wanted to show you. I've used some retired paper, which is a designer paper, but my customers don't care. As long as it's pretty, they're happy. So I just want to show you how I go about this, okay? Now, I use a bigger card, so it's a 5x7 card base. And this particular one has, this is the polished pink. This is an old retired paper that has polished pink in it. We've got the beautiful polished pink, beautiful organza ribbon. Some die cuts that I had on my desk, and some retired gems that are in gold. Now, you can use anything that you've got, but I'm blending the old with the new. Now, these are those dies that I was just discussing, and use what you've got in your stash. Make your products go further. So I wanted to show you how I go about doing this. So first of all, I use my computer, obviously, to get the greeting. Because it's personalised, there's no rubber stamp made with Jenny's name on it. So what I do is I just get a piece of printer paper. I put the setting onto the right size, the actual size for a piece of A4. I take the die with me and I adjust that. Oh, that wasn't that one. It was this one. Sorry, my bad. So I print it out on a piece of scrap first. I actually measure it against it on the screen because I've put that at actual size. I can just pop this up on the screen and make sure that my message fits inside. This is just in case you're wondering how I make personalised cards. So once I'm happy that that's going to fit inside the aperture, I take a piece of my basic white or whatever colour I'm doing, and you can see these 2 bits of tape here. I just lay that over it, and quite often sometimes I will hold this up to the screen because then I can see through it. The light from the screen will show me where the message is. And I will just pop a piece of sticky tape on the bottom. Now, you're wondering why I didn't put it on the top. I put it on the bottom because my printer prints this way. My printer prints this way. The paper is in this way, and I don't want it falling off. So it will come out printed that way, okay? So I just place that over there. I've got plenty of room to move this die around once I've printed it. So I print it. I then bring it back into my craft room. I go over it until I'm happy. Sometimes I might use my grid paper with a ruler. I'll just line the message up, say with the holes on either side or something like that, till I've got it straight. Pop a piece of sticky tape down, and don't forget this is on my cardstock, okay? It's on my cardstock. Pretend that's been printed. So I'm lining it up, I'm getting it straight, and then I run it through my die cutting machine. Now, in this case, this is what I got, okay? So that's how it came out. So I popped those out. I've got this piece that I can use on another project. This piece I can use on another project. I then took my piece of backing cardstock here and I cut this out. You can't see that. There's a hole in the back and it looks just like that. So I've glued my beautiful piece of designer series paper over that hole. I've glued it onto the card front. I've propped this up with some Stampin' Dimensionals. So the greeting is higher than the frame, just to give it a bit of added interest. So I've used some of these on the back. I had some old gold shimmer paint that I've splashed this over just to pick up the gold accent that was in the paper. I had these cutouts on my desk in my little novelty box, so to speak, that I keep all sorts of things that I have all cut out on previous occasions. I keep them because you just never know when you might want to add something to it. So I've used those and I've popped up this polished pink ribbon. I've made a bow and I've popped that up. And that's how I get these messages. Now, to tie in the black, I used these that were punched out. They were in my little novelty box. And then I flicked some black Stampin' Blends. I just flicked some black Stampin' Blends on this to tie in that black. And that's how I make personalised cards. Now, of course, you can just stamp a greeting like we did with this one here. But for a customer that is paying me for a personalised card, that is how I do it. I just thought you might like to know how that happens. So, yeah, you can go to my online store, which is here, and you can purchase these beautiful stamp and die sets. There is a collection where the beautiful paper, which I've shown you before, the beautiful paper. Now, I could have used this paper, but I wanted to use up some of my vast collection, shall we just say, of designer series paper. Now, the customers don't know that paper's retired, as I said, so she will think that's a beautiful card and be very happy with that. So I just thought I'd fill you in on that. If you wanted to attempt to make some personalised cards, it's not as hard as you might think it is at first. So you print your message on your piece, allow yourself plenty of room to move the die around to cut it out so that you get it where you want it. But always have a practice piece first, because you never know where you're going to print that. You need to know where it's going to print in relation to your piece of cardstock. Now, this, for me, using a smaller piece of cardstock, it eliminates waste, because I would have probably used a full-size piece of cardstock. The rest of it would be wasted. So I cut these up. They're quarter size. I get 4 out of a sheet. I keep them in a little drawer in my craft room, and I use those. Now, I can use this because I placed it so that I can use it again. I can use that and maybe just have it so that I've got a little bit of a background coming through there. Where are my other little ones? I might decide that I want to use these. So, yeah, and I can also use this on just plain white with my brushes, and it will create Just a beautiful shadow. Actually, I might show you that right now. This is a bit impromptu, so yeah, just bear with me for a second. So if I take my blending brush, I can print that on there like that. Okay, and on my scrap piece of paper, I can, holding it down, I can just go around the edge like this. I'm using this like a stencil. So there are so many possibilities with these dies, and I didn't realise how many there were until I started playing with it. Look at that. That's just lifted a plain piece of paper. Now, of course, I could just do the whole thing and then stamp over the top of that if I wanted to. And this is another really brilliant idea to get the most out of your dies, your stamps and all sorts of things, is to think outside the box. So it's a bit rough, but you can see what I mean. You can see that I've now created this beautiful shadow background effect, and I can stamp in there, or I can do whatever I want to do with that. So yeah, that's an extra tip. You got that one for nothing. So yeah, I hope you got something out of that. I hope that there was a bit of information in there that might help you look at your card creating different. I mean, everybody loves a personalised card, and this is just how I've actually been doing this for quite many years, and yeah, the customers keep coming back. The same people keep coming back to get personalised cards. So that might be just another arrow in your quiver, or string to your bow, whichever you want to say. But anyway, thanks for your time, and I hope that that mystery's been solved for you. Thanks. See you. Bye.